Your entire life, the person you are becoming, the legacy you will leave, is built on a foundation of choices you don't even notice you're making. The choice to scroll your phone or to breathe. The choice to react or to respond. We live under the myth that these daily choices are small. But what if they're not? What if every small choice is a brushstroke in the painting of your soul? Tonight, in this visual meditation, we unmask that myth. Not to give you an answer, but to invite you into a deeper question. What kind of life are your choices creating? What does it mean to choose? This question is older than language itself. It is carved into the myths of Mesopotamia, whispered in the gardens of Athens, echoed in the chants of Buddhist monks, and debated in the candle-lit halls of medieval Europe. The Stoics said, choice is where virtue is born. The Epicureans said, choice is where pleasure is pursued. The Christians said, choice is where salvation is won or lost. The existentialists said, choice is where meaning is made. And yet, scientists now tell us that the brain often decides before you do, that free will may be an elegant illusion. So, what is it? Are you the author of your story or the actor in someone else's script? And if freedom itself trembles under question, what does that say about every tiny yes and no in your life? Imagine a cup of water. You lift it to your lips, drink, and move on. A small act, a trivial choice. Or is it? What if that cup was your last on a scorching desert journey? What if that same cup was offered to a stranger in need, altering their destiny? What if that cup was poisoned by betrayal? What if that cup was poured into the soil of a dying plant which tomorrow blossoms? The same gesture, the same hand, the same water, and yet infinite meanings. So is the significance of your choice inherent, or is it painted by context, time, and consequence? Is choice an isolated spark, or a thread in the web of eternity? Picture this. A billionaire alone in a penthouse, surrounded by artifacts of desire, scrolling endlessly through glowing screens. A monk in silence, eating a bowl of rice, eyes filled with stillness. A young parent, exhausted, choosing to read one more story to a child. A soldier hesitating for half a second on the battlefield, altering history. Is freedom found in abundance or in restraint? Is meaning hidden in monumental decisions or in the smallest gestures? Is time measured in years or in the moments when we were fully alive? Science complicates the story. Neuroscientists observe your brain firing milliseconds before you think you've decided. Psychologists tell us your environment primes your choices more than your will. Historians remind us that your culture pre-writes the script of possibility. So what remains? If free will is a myth, then is every choice just a shadow of causes and conditions stretching back before your birth? And yet, the human heart insists otherwise. We feel the weight of decision. We tremble in the moment of saying yes or no. We regret. We rejoice. We wonder, what if I had chosen differently? Perhaps free will is less about control and more about consciousness. Less about commanding the river of life and more about knowing you are swimming. Visualize two doors before you. One door is gilded, heavy, adorned with jewels. Behind it, prestige, recognition, immortality in memory. The other is plain wood, worn smooth by countless hands. Behind it, obscurity, simplicity, anonymity. Which door do you choose? And more importantly, who is choosing? Is it your ego, your fear, your longing, your soul? And what if both doors open into the same room, the room of your own mortality? We live as if choices vanish when the moment passes, but every choice leaves residue. Your words echo in the nervous system of another. Your silence shapes a relationship. Your kindness becomes memory. Your cruelty becomes scar. The myth is that daily choices are small. The truth is, they are accumulations. They carve your legacy, one invisible cut at a time. When history remembers or forgets you, it will not be because of the single grand choice you made, but because of the 1,000 unnoticed ones. The great philosophers left us not with final answers, but with better questions. So tonight, I leave you not with a conclusion, but with silence. A silence in which you might hear your own heart whisper. When you rise tomorrow, when you say yes or no, when you pick up the phone or close your eyes, remember, the myth of small choices is only a mask. Beneath it, eternity watches. The myth we unmask tonight is not that choices don't matter, it's that we forget their depth. Your daily life is not trivial, it is sacred. Every step, every word, every silence is a brushstroke in the painting of your existence. And the real question is not, what will you choose? The real question is, what kind of soul will those choices shape? So tomorrow, pause. Notice. Breathe before you act. When you choose, let it not be automatic, but conscious. Let your choice be a doorway to awareness, not a reflex of conditioning. Because in unmasking the myth of your daily choices, you discover the quiet miracle. You are not merely living. You are composing, and the composition is your life.